thanks for listening. This is Brian Hurley from Business Performance Improvement. The podcast Lean Six Sigma Bursts are short lessons, comments, Q&A, and insights. If you have a question, send your question through the Anchor app, and we might feature you on a future episode. Or contact me at biz-pi.com.
Last week I put on a webinar. It was called Greenbelt Refresher using Copilot, Part 1. In that webinar, I gave a quick refresher of the DMAIC roadmap and core tools. I also went through some examples of using Copilot to replicate statistical software. And so for this podcast, I'm going to share the intro where I talk about the current state of Six Sigma software and why I'm looking at AI as a possible replacement for those programs. If you'd like to see this webinar, you can go to the Lean Six Sigma ecosystem.com website and you can register. There is a fee to pay for that, but this will also give you access to the next webinar where I go beyond the control charts and capability analysis and graphical tools that I showed in this webinar. And I'll go into ANOVA and regression and some hypothesis tests, and including DOE. So you'll be able to get both of those webinars for the monthly price there of $27. Hope you enjoy this quick explanation of the current state of Six Sigma software.
Let me pause for a moment to tell you about our sponsor, Creative Safety Supply. Creative Safety Supply is a great resource for free guides, infographics, and continuous improvement tools. I recommend starting with their 5S guide. It includes breakdowns of the 5 pillars, ways to begin implementing 5S, and even organization tips and color charts. From red tags to floor markings, it's all there. Download it for free at creativesafetysupply.com/5S.
To start off, again, my name is Brian Hurley. I'm a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt. I'm based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida area, and I've been doing process improvement for over 25 years. As things have been changing recently, I wanted to really understand where the industry is going with training and consulting and how do we incorporate AI into this. I don't have all the answers. Maybe some of you have some different ideas and thoughts, so curious to hear that. Traditionally, when we do Six Sigma training, because of the statistical software, there are challenges and barriers. One is the price. And there are some free options, R, and you can get Excel's data analysis tool pack, and you can find some Excel templates that you can download. And so those are possibilities, but it does create a barrier in classes when we have a formal program that they have to purchase. Even the lower cost ones like a Sigma Excel or QI macros, those do have some cost. They are more affordable and easier to work with, but not as many people have that experience using them. The most common one is Minitab. That's been around since the 1970s, and it's been kind of the go-to software. It's got a lot of features and functionalities, but also fairly user-friendly. There's more powerful tools like JUMP and SPSS. SPSS seems to be more in the medical industry, medical research, but JUMP has quite a few features. When I worked in a corporate environment, we had a license for JUMP for special situations where we couldn't get the analysis done in Minitab. But the cost can be over $1,500 per year. And then you have a class of people wanting to learn. They used to give out 30-day trials of Minitab, and now they've cut that to 14 days. Usually we would spread out our training over 2 weeks and have a couple weeks in between. So we'd still stay within the 30-day window so everyone could get free trial licenses, at least through the training. And then they could decide if they're going to need it going forward or are going to want a license. But during the class, you might have 5 to 20 people in a class. And some organizations might have a license, but they don't have that many concurrent licenses. So those create barriers to the training. It creates barriers to applying the tools after the class. And then you're paying for a license that you might not use very much throughout the year. You might use it a couple times, depending on your job. If it's a job that you're going to be getting into data all the time, then you might use it more frequent. But a lot of people have just sporadic uses for software like that. The question is there alternative options out there? You know, whether it's a free option or one of the AI programs. So I played around with a couple real quick, ChatGPT and Copilot. I know there's more we can look into as well. And maybe you can take some of the prompts and I'll send you this data set that you can play around with it, but you can find almost any data set you want. So there's nothing special about this particular data. As I played around with them, Copilot seemed a little bit better. And so I wanted to just use that. And a lot of the organizations I'm working with, they use Copilot. I think that one's pretty common because it's a Microsoft product. I wanted to see, is this something that could replace green belt training or black belt training or statistical software in general?